Good morning, Taiwan, and thank you for sharing your day with us. I am Louisa Lee, here to keep you informed and entertained. 欢迎收看 Louisa 报报，每天给您最新最有趣的新闻。First, the news in New Zealand. With constant tremors and aftershocks, many are still living on their nerves after a 6.3 magnitude rocked the city of Christchurch a year ago, which left 184 people dead. Prime Minister John Key, who is optimistic about the recovery of the city, is set to attend services marking the first anniversary of the quake on Wednesday to remember the victims who lost their lives on what he calls New Zealand's darkest day. New Zealand 政府礼拜三要举行仪式，来纪念去年2月在地震丧生的民众。
Nearly 1 year ago, on February 22, 2011, a 6.3 magnitude earthquake hit the city of Christchurch in New Zealand. 184 people were killed in the disaster, including citizens of 20 different countries. Here in the Canterbury television building is where 2/3 of them died. An official report released on February 9th found that the construction of the CTV building was substandard. Large areas of Christchurch's business district were reduced to rubble in the quake. The city's famous cathedral was heavily damaged, as well as shops, office buildings, and many homes. The tremor, which struck at midday, caused up to $15.5 billion in damage. New Zealand straddles the boundaries of the Indo-Australian and Pacific tectonic plates and is hit by about 14,000 quakes each year, but only a small number of those top a magnitude of 5.
And Myanmar is ready to lose its disreputable status as the world's second biggest opium supplier. With a goal to wipe it out entirely by 2014, police are moving in with weed whackers to destroy fields of thigh-high poppies, which will leave a large number of farmers without jobs and money. And the hardest challenge will be finding them alternative ways to survive. 缅甸政府最近开始消灭 opium 的计划，摧毁罂粟田，但是对很多以为这个农民来说，他们很担心会活不下去。
Myanmar has declared a war on opium. In a remote valley in Shan State, police armed with weed whackers move through fields of poppies, leaving behind them a carpet of stems. However, local farmers whose livelihood depends on the weed are distraught at the government's action. Moy Mom, a 48-year-old widow with 6 daughters, is one of them.
I thought nothing. I just wanted to cry. I can't do anything about this. There's no food to eat. The money I borrowed, I've already spent on fertilizers. I have no more money to pay back. No more money for food.
Myanmar has appealed to foreign donors for $500 million to finance a program to help the thousands of households off poppy growing. But it's not an easy task. United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime said that new crops can be planted until the rain season starts in June or July.
We've got a very narrow window. We've got a period now of about 6 months until they can plant again. If aid is not arriving, if they don't get the assistance that they need in that period, then there's a very real chance that they're going to go back to poppy.
The UN estimates about 256,000 households are involved in opium poppy cultivation. Myanmar produced an estimated 610 tons of opium last year, making it the world's second biggest opium supplier after Afghanistan.
And the price of oil has reached a new high on Monday after Iran announced that it has cut off crude exports to Britain and France over a dispute on the Middle Eastern country's nuclear program. 为了抗议 EU 的抵制， Iran 决定停止卖石油给英国与法国。
Some breaking news now coming out of Iran itself here at Press TV. According to
Iran state television announces Sunday that Tehran has stopped selling crude to British and French companies in retaliation against fresh EU sanctions on the Islamic State's lifeblood, oil. In January, the European Union decided to stop importing crude from Iran starting July 1st. Over its disputed nuclear program, which the West says is aimed at building bombs, but Iran denies. On February 4th, Iran's oil minister warned that the Islamic State would cut its oil exports to, quote, some European countries. Last week, the European Commission said the bloc would not be short of oil if Iran stopped crude exports. The EU maintains that they have enough in stock to meet their needs for about 120 days. Among European nations, debt-ridden Greece is most exposed to Iranian oil disruption. Saudi Arabia says it is prepared to supply extra oil, either by topping up existing term contracts or by making rare spot market sales.
And now turning to entertainment news, Erin Brockovich, a true activist, is not backing down on the battle against polluted water. Famous for the 2000 film that shares her name, Erin again takes her expertise to the big screen in the latest documentary, Last Call at the Oasis. 让 Julia Roberts 拿下 Oscar 的影片《永不妥协》真实的主角 Erin Brockovich 最近在影展推出她参与制作的新片 Last Call at the Oasis， 让大家了解水的重要性。
Environmental activist Erin Brockovich became associated with the issue of polluted water after the film made in 2000, Erin Brockovich, for which Julia Roberts won an Oscar. 10 years later, the 51-year-old is still fighting and still going strong. At the Berlin Film Festival, she introduced the latest 2 movie projects she's involved with, Last Call at the Oasis, which explains the vital role water plays in our lives, and Breathing Lessons, the life and work of Mark O'Brien, to show the world why water is the most important and most underestimated resource on our planet.
And we don't think about water, and we do take it for granted because we turn on a tap and there it is. And maybe we take it for granted because outside of seeing it in our tap, we don't really understand water underneath us.
With Academy Award-winning director Jessica Yu, Last Call at the Oasis exposes the defects in the current system, shows communities already struggling with its ill effects, and presents a convincing argument for why the global water crisis will be the central issue facing our world this century.
I do believe people realize without water we're doomed, so they don't want to think about it. And then they just take it for granted. But we've got some water issues coming up. Water will be a commodity someday, and we're going to trade it like oil, and it shouldn't be that way. And the time has come where we're going to start thinking about water and the importance of water. Even though we already know it, we don't know it. And I'm hoping that this film will enlighten everybody.
Brockovich came to prominence investigating the prevalence of cancer cases in Hinckley. The movie focused on the advocate's work as a paralegal with residents of Hinckley. In that case, 660 Hinckley residents sued the utility PG&E for damages from groundwater contaminated with toxic chemicals. The plaintiffs received a $333 million settlement in 1997.
In movie news, Adam Sandler ×2. In the upcoming comedy Jack and Jill, the actor plays a successful executive who has a beautiful wife and 2 adorable kids. And the only thing that's not perfect about his life is his identical sister who shows up once a year for Thanksgiving. Adam Sandler 最新的喜剧《龙凤大双胞》这个礼拜5要上映了，他在里面一人分饰2角，大秀爆笑演技。
Pick Jill up at 4 in the morning.
She comes once a year and she's leaving on Sunday.
Adam Sandler as Jack is dreading for an annual family gathering, which involves his twin sister Jill, who is obnoxious, overbearing, and completely oblivious to social cues. The presence and existence of Jill literally drive Jack mad, turning his once enviable life upside down.
And she isn't leaving.
I put a little list together of things I want to do. Beach, horseback riding. Let's go! Oh my God!
Seriously, honey? Can't you try a little harder? She's your sister.
Please don't destroy my pool.
Guess who is taking you to the Lakers game?
Finally some swim time.
Compliments of Mr. Pacino.
What? This is insane, man! You gotta call him!
From Columbia Pictures.
All you gotta do is make contact. That's all.
Whoa! Whoa! Oh my God! I'm sure you have others.
You'd think it, but oddly enough, I don't.
What is it that you see in my sister?
I see a girl who wants recognition, but never gets it.
Do you and Daddy have twin powers?
Some twins can feel when the other one's hurt.
A little harder.
No, Jill, stop it. He's kidding.
What?
You hear that, Daddy?
I actually did feel something there. Pride in my son.
Jack and Jill.
The reviews haven't been too outstanding, but you can be the judge yourself on Adam Sandler's dual role in Jack and Jill in theaters this Friday. And that's it for today's edition. I am Louisa Lee, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Meanwhile, stay with CTS for the latest weather update and for more news you need.